Hi, this is a video to show PagerDruid, a blameless on-call assistant built in Neo4j Aura Agent. It does not hallucinate owners or runbooks. It pulls evidence from the graph and tells exactly what you want to check and who to page. So we can go and check it. This is PagerDruid. When an incident hits, you need two things very fast. Usually to understand what's likely broken and who owns it. PagerDruid combines runbooks and incident history with dependency graph reasoning to produce an actionable project plan. So here is what's likely broken. It's identified the top three blast radius, upstream, downstream. Put the page similar incidents and the evidence for the runbooks, which likely it can help. All right. So let's take a look. I'm going to import. Here we can see the graph that we have. An incident that has a time, severity, summary, resolution, runbook with title, service name, steps, perform it, and some tags. And then the service here and the description, and the team that manages the service and owns the service. All right, and the service can depend on another one. There's relation for service. An incident is resolved by a runbook, and service is affected by an incident. And of course, the dependency of one service to another. And of course, the team. So the contact. We can go to the agent. We can expand it. We like to think that the instructions have a lot to do because it took a bit to polish this. So I tell it to produce one answer, do not print planning text, or otherwise the response will be too verbose. And if a tool fails, I tell it to say it very explicitly and then continue and try to be a bit reliable. But this is good because there were some issues at the beginning and had to fix the tools. I gave it a clear job, incident diagnosis questions using the graph. You must use tools for facts. Do not invent services, teams, runbooks. Basically, do not hallucinate anything. And rules: do not narrate tool planning. Call tools silently, and then output one final response. Use these tools. I tell the tools explicitly with the proper names because otherwise it was mistaking or not finding some that I had a typo. That's it. And for owners to page, I tell it to pass the service name CSV as separated string so it knows what to hand over. Never claim tool limitations. If a tool fails, report the error and continue, and be a bit sarcastic. All right. I tell it to call the tools in this order. Search services. If the user did not name a service, search runbooks to find the relevant runbooks, search incidents to find similar historical incidents, and then use the graph tools next. Impact radius to show upstream and downstream radius, share dependencies to highlight, share choke points, radius cache, core DB, etc. And then a shortest dependency path when a path is requested to explain the root cause. And the recent incidents for service to show recent incidents for a specific service. And then owners to page to map the services to corresponding teams that own them. And important, service name CSV must be comma separated. So I make this rule of prompt placement when something is important. It's good to repeat it. Call owners to page with service name CSV to, well, like check out inventory payment, an example, right? Then use runbook steps for the top 1-2 runbooks to extract the first checks. Text to cipher is allowed only if a question cannot be answered with the above tools, and we prefer the templates. And when responding, prioritize actionable information, what to check first, and who to page, basically, and include evidence, of course. I tell it that the output should be this one, so it's also good to specify the output. Most likely culprit services, top 3, plus reason, plus reduce, dependency chain from checkout, use short dependency path, or review task. The first 5 checks from the runbook steps, and every check must end with rb exec, which is the format used, and who to page, basically. List each service, similar historical and incidents, and what resolved them, evidence used, the runbooks in this case. And some more things. If impact radius fails, skip it. That's it. And continue. Do not repeat the response. Tell it access is internal. And for example, let's take a look at impact radius. I had to configure a lot of them. So it was not exactly what I wanted. So I had to put, like, for example, that here. So it's not that simple. Okay, and then shortest dependency path. I put from service to service. That one, I think it was properly generated. These simple things are good. I also told it on the prompt that generated the full agent, which helped a lot. So on 2 or 3 cases, I used them right away. Owners to page as well. Here I had to provide it at service name CSV, because otherwise it was basically not working. Service name, it was split through comma, and that's it. And then here we have it. Then I match them. Nothing more. Runbook steps with the runbook ID, a simple one, recent incidents for service, and I can provide a limit. And direct upstream dependencies, which is, I think, pretty simple. I disabled some of them that were not fully working, like the ones that work with embeddings. It was a bit complex to configure. I did not was able to configure. One feedback for you, Neo4j, would be to maybe, if it's fully managed, why not provide as well the models as well? I don't mind if this has a cost, or do the connection in a general way for embedding model that is a bit easier to identify the issue, or provide that if you have Aura already. So provide the connection to the model so the configuration is absolutely no problem. All right, text to cipher. That's basically text to cipher, right? So it's simply a simple translation, generation of a query, which the agent can do. I think that's pretty neat. I use MCP, so I guess it's basically an extension to the MCP. Similarity search, which is simply a search. I don't know, this should be disabled, but I'm not calling it. And top downstream by dependency. Here, I had to configure the depth as well. Share dependencies. Again, another one with the depth. Search runbooks, query, and yeah, that's basically it. Search incidents, search runbooks. So it's very similar with another limit, and search services in this case, which has as well another limit. So you can see it's very, at the end, very similar. It's just to provide the tools exactly tailored to the moment. Only thing we could do is the shortest dependency path. For example, if we go to the instance, we connect it. Yeah. very simple. So I'm not showing anything special here. Uh, One thing we could check is the impact radius. So here is the query that was in. I think it was responded, but one feature that I use is deprecated. And yeah, again, what can I say? The agent, I think it's pretty cool. It turns a dependency graph into an incident decision engine with kind of very fast diagnosis, verify ownership, and evidence-based actions. It's completely built, as you can see, in Aura uh, with deterministic cipher tools for precise, give me what I need at this exact moment, and respond in a, well, I think quite useful way. Um, Also, it has full text retrieval, and it's, as mentioned, blameless, practical, and maybe shippable. Yeah, I think it's quite cool. And thanks, Aura. Uh, sorry, thanks Neo4j for organizing this contest. It was really, really fun. I started thinking, oh, with after looking at the video, that this was really easy, and it was. But getting it to fully do what you want, it takes time. It's trial and error. It's adjusting the queries. It takes a bit. So, but it was a lot of fun and a lot of lessons learned. So, thank you.